And here we go. Welcome everybody. My name is John Ward. I'm commonly known as the Healthy Networker. And I have been around the direct selling business for 22 years. Um, but that's not why we're here. We're kind of like here for that. But the title of this was 2020 was the great reveal. It was the great revealer. And it's and a side hustle for now, today, is not an option, it's a must, because the world has changed. And for many of us it's for the better, for many of us it's not. And it's a pandemic that we went through in 2020. And the with that came a declining economy. With that came unemployment, drastic unemployment. With that came businesses that were decimated, specifically small businesses, but even big businesses. The travel industry, the airline industry, it will be years before they recover. And, so companies are restructuring. Companies are looking at different ways to do business because they have to look at their bottom lines. And they can't always continue to lose money. Some of them have stockholders. They have to serve the stockholders. Small businesses are looking just for a way to survive. And many of them have been creative. Recoveries after something like this, who knows? I personally believe it's going to be slow, and we have not even seen what is going to happen, in the future. I think it's going to be still tough. We talked about the travel industry, small businesses. I got friends in small businesses. They're all getting loans. And, people with unemployment, people that got unemployment are going to be in for a big shock when it comes to taxes, because they got to claim the money. And they weren't working. When they file their taxes, all the money they got from the government as far as unemployment and money they get from unemployment, they have to claim it. And when people are living paycheck to paycheck or living out of their savings account through this pandemic, it is, there's just going to be a lot of shocking things that are going to happen to people. I mean, and our federal government is trying to figure out what to do. They have no idea what to do. They're just feeding it money but it's all uncharted waters. The last time this happened was 1918, when there was a pandemic, the Spanish flu. So it's been a long time. So, and the list goes on and on and on. That 2020, I mean, the emotional part of 2020, the results of that are just who knows what those are gonna be. And I believe those are 5 years out. And so, and schools, for kids who are in schools that are learning from home, some are getting left behind because they don't have the technology. They don't know how to use the technology. Homeschooling is probably going to be on the rise. So, that's going to require one of the parents to be home. And so there's lots of changes coming, and it's a time of adapting and adjusting. For those who adapt and adjust, you'll be fine. For those who don't, I don't know. I really don't know. My belief is if you don't adapt and adjust, that you're going to be left behind. If you don't adapt and adjust, the divide's going to get wider. We've got to create and be entrepreneurs. And that's what we're talking about here, is you've got to have a side hustle, a plan B in today's world. I don't care if you have a job and you're working. No one knows, with as the economy goes and as this pandemic goes, what is going to be the end result, and who knows when. And I've lived through it before, and it's not pretty, and it's life changing for many families. You know, I know people who bought a house, bought it too soon because the pandemic hit, you know, or people who only have, you know, live week to week, or only have 30 days of bills that they can pay, or only have 60 days or 90. But one of the things you need to have 3 months to 6 months because of something like this. And we've never been taught, many people haven't been taught this, you know, that school systems don't teach it. And, you know, how to set yourself up so that you can survive something like this. But specifically, I'm going to talk about your plan B and why it's important. And it's vitally important for many reasons. Just that what we said, because of the unknowns. So what we need to do now is, it's time to create your own economy. Whether it's in direct sales, whether it's creating your own business, whether it's being creative with some skill that you have or some creativity that you have, that it can be marketed. It's going to take that. And that's what you have to be thinking about now, because, you know, it's just, there's so many unknowns, and it's uncharted territory, but it's good territory. It's territory that allows you to really look at yourself, look at where you are in life, what this pandemic has done to you. And now you look at it and you decide what you want, so you can create a plan, so you can create some passion, so you can create some responsibility for creating your own economy. And once you do those things, then your self-esteem starts rising again. If it's low, it rises again, and you rise above all situations. You know, I ask people a lot, what are you, you know, have you found the opportunity that's going to take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? That is one hell of a question. Have you found the opportunity that's going to take care of you and your family for the rest of your life? Because we're in uncharted waters, just a job probably is not going to do that for the majority of people. And if you answer this no, the second most important question that someone might ask you, like me, is, how much time per week are you spending looking for that opportunity? Those are two wildly important questions. And once you decide and make the decision that you're going to do that, your self-esteem starts going this way, just like that. Just like that. So it happens really quick. So there's no guarantee. Look, there's no guarantee of employment. So you need to create this side hustle or this plan B. Maybe direct selling is it. Maybe it's starting your own business. Okay, I don't know. That's for you to decide. But I'm going to speak a little bit from what I know, and that's in direct sales. I've spent 22 years in it, and currently in the U.S. alone, It is a $35.4 billion industry. Let me repeat that. $35.4 billion industry. That was as of 2018. And there are 6.2 million people that are involved. Now, out of the hundreds of millions of people, that's not a lot doing that kind of money. And globally, it's approaching $200 billion, the industry. So let me give you some really interesting facts about this industry. The gender distribution is shocking for 2019. Well, it's not shocking to me. 74% of the people in our industry are women. 26% are men. Of those 74%, our industry has the highest number of people making a six-figure income, and women are the leaders in that, creating their own economy. That's amazing, but I get it. They share from the heart. They give from the heart. They know how to talk with people, to share their feelings, because this is a caring and sharing business, and it's interesting. So, and here's some other, baby boomers make up 26.4%. Gen X makes up 34%, and millennials make up 36.9%, and then the rest of them are just small. And then finally, 33.8% is the wellness industry. 22% is services, 16.5% is the beauty industry. So when you look at this, there's probably 6 or 7 more. Clothing is one that you can find a plan B. And here's the great thing about this industry. You can find something that you feel you align with, and you can get started for minimal amount of money. When I say minimal, under $1,000. Some places are like just a couple $100, and you're in business. Now, that also is a disadvantage in my mind. It's so inexpensive to get started that many people don't treat it like a business. But those who get it and see it and start that way and develop a plan and go with it, especially the women, they're the ones that shine. There's many of them that make 6, and many of them that make 7 figures, that are out there. Now, the 7 figures are smaller amount, but they're out there. I know a young 34-year-old, 32-year-old woman is a 7-figure earner in this industry, 32 years old. And she helps people every single day. So, it's kind of interesting when you look at that. So basically, we're talking about working from home. Whether you're working from home, many people are with their jobs. They've adjusted. Some are job sharing, working in the office and at home. It just depends. But more and more companies are looking at that, because then they don't have the expense of the buildings and the rent and the leases. So it's going to change even more dramatically. And businesses are finding they can do things with less people. As anytime there's a downturn, that's always the case, because they're looking for ways to increase their bottom line. So here's some things that, in starting your plan B at home, So here's 10 things why you should start a plan B. You have more personal freedom. Some will dispute that, but you do have more personal freedom because you're setting your own schedule. So you are determining how successful you want to be, or you're determining your hours. You get to keep the money you make. You got to save some for taxes because it's all 1099 for the most part, but you get to keep the money, and whatever you make is yours. You have increased opportunities when you are working for yourself and you're working from home. Increased opportunities can come in the form of learning how to invest your money. They can come in the form of just meeting other people in this industry of direct selling, and new opportunities show up, um, that maybe that you just never realized were going to happen, because people want your services. Um, it's way less risky than starting a brick and mortar business. Again, to start a brick and mortar business, you need anywhere from $25,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so when you can start a business under $1,000, and you can be profitable in the first 30 days, unheard of. Brick and mortar, it's going to take years to be profitable. uh, Tax advantages, oh my god. So one of the things, if you own a home, the tax advantages, they're closing all of them up for the most part, where you can't write off the interest on your home as much. You can't, your write-offs aren't as dramatic as they once used to be. But when you have a home-based business, that hasn't changed yet. You can write off part of your square footage of your house as your office. You can write off a portion of your electric bill, your power bill, your air, television, your internet, your phone bill, your garbage collection. All of that gets written off as a percentage. It's huge. And then any supplies you buy, anytime you go out to dinner, you can make it about your business. So some of your pleasures become business write-offs. And then there's just, you know, your cars, you can depreciate your computers. When you buy a new printer or a new computer, you can depreciate it. You can put your car in your business. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. The deductions that you can get from having a home-based business. Just for that alone, you should start one. Just for that alone. Because, I mean, you know, I like keeping more of my money than I like giving it to the government, because they don't know how to spend it. They know how to spend it. They can't control their expenses. So, they just spend it way out of control. You have more time for friends and family. So you can go out during the day. I know people that are in our industry, their favorite time is between 2 and 4 o'clock to go visit people, because everybody else is working, or they go to the spa, or they go to get their nails done, or they pamper themselves when no one else is there, because they just have more time, less stress. When you work for someone else, it can be stressful, because you have to do what they say, what they guide you to do. You don't always get the freedom to do whatever you want. And there can be like conflicts, personality conflicts. And so the workspace sometimes is stressful. Opportunities for personal growth. Your personal growth in this industry is huge, because you're around and surrounding your people with people who are going through the same thing that help guide you through it, and your personal growth continues to grow, you become a person that is confident, that is self-confident, that is self-motivating, that is responsible. All those are wonderful qualities for professional and mindset growth. Increased productivity. You know, when you're working for yourself, you have to be creative, you have to be focused. And because if you don't make it happen, no one else will. And you have your creative outlet. You know, that's one of the things that I really enjoy. I get to create things. I created tonight. No one else did. I created tonight with the help of, as a matter of fact, Lisa here, she gave me some pointers. But I created it because I thought it was important. You know, I'm on social media a lot. Most of you know that. And I get to create. And that creation just it fills something in me and it inspires me, you know, because it just allows those juices and that creative desire to be filled. I'm not an artist. I'm not a painter. I do sing a little, so mostly in the shower. You know, I've always had this creativeness with advertising and with, you know, helping people. So that's been important to me. But here's the other thing that most people don't get: leveraged income. You have to understand leveraged income. That is the beauty of our industry. Leveraged income. The simple definition of it is you get paid over and over and over again for work that you did today. Because when you build a network marketing company or a direct sales company, you learn how to get repeat business. You learn how to build teams. So, you know, if you have a job or if you create something, it's either I'll use man, or a woman. It's a man or a woman making the money. But if you build a team, now it is men and women creating the income. And then what you do is you learn how to take that income and let that money work for you. And when you learn that, the importance of that, you'll have a fire lit under you. Because when you work for yourself, by yourself, there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many weeks in the year. And you have to create it all. But in direct sales, you can build teams and teams and teams that you spend, you know, you spend a couple years, 2 or 3 years doing this, it takes on a life of its own. And it's leveraged income. It's income that now when they talk about having the time freedom and freedom, it's because of that, because you're making money while you play. You're making money while you sleep. You're making money day in, day out. You're making money from all time zones if you're in the right business, which that's how you make money while you sleep, when you're in different time zones. So anyway, it is a remarkable business, but it's vital. And I want to stress this, it's vital. Give this some thought. If you're just working a job, or you're working for someone else, then think about plan B, a side hustle, the importance of it. Because what if something happens to you? What if something happens to your wife? What if who's gonna bring the money in? And it's better to start now, right now, today, because the industry is growing by leaps and bounds. We have doctors now in this industry. We have neurologists in this industry, because the medical field it's not what it used to be as far as money goes. It's just all specialized. And we have people from all walks of life in this industry, because once they see it and understand the platform, it's a business model that cannot be disputed. So whether it's this or starting your own, plan B is important. Plan B, a side hustle, is important today. So look, I'll open it up for anybody that has any questions. And or you would like to talk with me, in private, you can message me, but I'll take any questions from anybody. We've been on here like 28 minutes. I'll take 5 minutes worth of questions. And if there are any, I got this on Facebook. Let me see if Facebook's got any. Hold on while everybody's quiet. My family text is going wild. I got my brother watching. Okay. Okay. Well, with that, I'll stop the recording. And if you want to ask questions that aren't